Halsey said last night that she looks like this character and said, I look like that. I'm going to do it.
Oh.
So I'm very excited.
Oh, we're rolling. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh! Oh my god! Whoa! I know.
That opens up a whole other world for you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Wait, which movie though?
Bridesmaids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
wow.
Hand brace.
I love yours. Oh,
wow.
I just touched
I
my mic.
love yours too.
Are you so surprised?
Yes.
I am. Holy shit. I like the contour.
Thank you.
The green contour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The wig.
I just didn't do my hands. I kind of did my hands.
Well,
it was a last minute
hands
decision.
is a lot.
Oh no.
This is great.
I love it.
So fun.
So the wig.
Basically, I had Mandy's bachelorette weekend a few weeks ago, or like a month ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, we watched Bridesmaids, and I went,
That's me.
I can do that. I said, I have the shirt.
I love it so much.
I just had to get the pearls and the.
Oh my god, the wristband. Okay, wait, we have to explain things for audio listeners.
Okay, so hi, my name is Halsey. I am dressed as Melissa McCarthy's character Megan from the movie Bridesmaids.
Down to the wristband.
Down to the hand wrist
bandage
thing. The pearl necklace, the flat cap.
Do you even have a neck pillow?
Shut up. You really did. I'm proud. That's awesome.
So good.
The only thing you're missing, you should have gotten like a stuffed puppy or something.
I tried.
Dang.
I went to Target last night after recording.
Couldn't find anything?
Couldn't find a dog. Went to CVS this morning.
Yeah.
The only dog they had was $30 because it was
gosh.
like a one of those ones you put in the microwave.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
Don't put a dog in a microwave.
Yeah, no, I thought about just putting one of my Squishmallows
Yeah.
and putting dog on the label.
Dog.
Yeah.
Label it.
I took 9. I took 9.
Okay, wait. What did you say last night about your costume?
I said that I just like Googled or like on Amazon was like women's Halloween costumes. And this was like one of the first ones that popped up. And I was like, that's me.
I love it so much. You both could have used stuffed dogs for yours.
I
Honestly,
know.
I could have too.
Yeah, a little Toto.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I was going for Elphaba.
Yeah.
Because she's cooler. I also have glasses too to do her like studious college age.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
Yeah, I'm dressed up as Elphaba because Wicked comes out next month.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that would be so fun. And I also didn't, like we've talked about in the past, never dressed up for Halloween other than our show. And was like, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to do face paint. I love it so much.
It's so good.
So good.
I put the necklace on and the hat on.
Yeah.
And I FaceTime Mandy. I said, unfortunately, this works
Too well.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
It is I.
And then Kelly's dress is Cruella de Vil. Yeah. One of my favorite villains.
With the long cigarette and everything.
I know.
Yeah.
Or magician's wand.
Yeah.
A little bit of
I
it.
didn't realize that this was, I didn't remember that this was in because I just bought like a kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I should buy one. And then I went and like relooked through my stuff and I was like, I have one already.
Wow.
It's perfect.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know what my bangs are doing right
They're
now.
They're banging.
They're banging. Banging.
This is why I can't have bangs in real life though. They'd be
but those are
flat like this.
I don't know though. I kind of like it.
Those are synthetic bangs.
Yeah,
True.
very much
It'd
so.
be different with
True.
your real
But
hair.
the straight bangs kind of works for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find a stuffed dog.
It's okay.
bummer.
I got it right away.
But yeah,
I'm really glad that you did.
Yeah. It's the hat.
I was gonna say as soon as I saw the hat, I was
It's the hat and the in the airplane scene, she also has giant black headphones on.
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
so I was like, oh, my headphones will also tie into this and I don't have to buy another prop.
I love it.
perfect.
Yeah.
I also feel like I could get more costumes out of this one costume, which I was really excited about.
Yeah.
Like we could do.
You could do a Morticia with that wig.
I could do a Morticia. I could do just so many things. But I practiced for 2.5 hours last week doing this. I filmed all of it. The first hour and a half was horrific because at the end of the video, I look up into my viewfinder and I go, oh no, I made myself into old Greg.
Oh no!
I'm old Greg. and there was like not seeing old Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I like tried to wash all of it off and started over. And then the next hour I was like, okay, we got somewhere.
Yeah.
But man, it was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
I was in there for a solid hour today.
I love it.
I love it. Good stuff.
So
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. I was telling Jansen too, I was like, as I start collecting more costumes, because like all of this fits in a bag and like I have all this, I'm like, I'm just going to keep it.
Yeah.
And I have my Ted Lasso from last year all still in the bag.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to like have a costume closet, trunk, whatever, like ready to go. So I have all these different costumes.
That's what I started to think about too. I'm like, I can just put a little trunk together.
Yeah.
All my fun.
Yeah.
I am going to be leaving this here though, because I can't really take it on a plane tomorrow.
Why not?
I don't know. Questionable.
Yeah.
Hey ma'am, what do you need a witch's hat for in Boston? Well,
Spooky Salem.
Yeah.
Witches.
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
Super spoopy. Also, this is the first wig I've ever bought.
Same.
Very strange experience.
Interesting.
It's so long. And if I don't have green makeup on, I look terrifying with black hair.
Oh no.
I was like
vampire.
ugh, not even like bad. Just
no.
bad. I look sickly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Washes you out real quick.
The green helps.
Yeah.
I also I've always wanted to be green. So here we are. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Today is book club, and we read The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, and now we're
coming to a theater near you.
Yeah, coming to a theater near you by Lionsgate.
Mm-hmm.
They're filming in New Jersey, which isn't it set in New Jersey? Yeah. Good for them. Although I feel like you can make anywhere kind of look like New Jersey.
Yeah.
On the East Coast, but whatever. So this is a 3-part series. And it stops at 3.
Yeah. And Kelly and I read all 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But let us discuss the first. Because it's the only one that I read.
Do I remember the main character's name anymore? Nope.
Wait, what is it? I don't remember either. We should look that up.
Yep.
Here we go. Well, doesn't it say on the back? Nina. No.
Nope.
That's the wife.
Yep.
I'll just read the back one more time.
Millie.
Weirdest. Yeah, I didn't like that name.
Because it's short for something.
Yeah.
Every day I clean the Winchesters' beautiful house top to bottom. I pick up their daughter from school and I cook a delicious meal for the whole family before heading up to eat alone in my tiny room on the top floor. I try to ignore how Nina makes a mess just to watch me clean it up. How she tells strange lies about her own daughter and how her husband Andrew seems more broken every day. But as I look into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, so full of pain, it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. The walk-in closet, the fancy car, the perfect husband. I try on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once, just to see what it's like, but she soon finds out, and by the time I realize my attic bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's far too late. But I reassure myself, the Winchesters don't know who I really am. They don't know what I'm capable of. Suspense. Oh, thank you.
So right off the back of the book lies, because she notices that the door locks from the outside the day she moves in.
Yeah. Because she's been to jail and she should learn and know those kinds of things.
Oh, she was in prison for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Spoiler. Well, yeah, I think anyone who watches book club, you should know. You should have read the book by this point.
Yeah.
So I read this in a day. It's a small book. It's a fast read. I don't like suspense books that are based on the narrator's truth. And the narrator doesn't know either all the information or she's withholding facts because it makes for bad thrillerness. Like maybe it's because I can figure out books like this so quickly, and I did. I figured it out when the daughter started saying opposite things from what she was being told. I was like, okay, there's some kind of protection mode happening here when it comes to the dad and the daughter. And the scene where Nina and her, when she almost gets poisoned or whatever with the allergy, and Nina and her like team up together to like refute it. I was like, no, it's not the mom. It can't be the mom. Yeah. It has to be the husband. But because Millie is so dumb as a narrator, I had a
She's
hard
unreliable.
time.
She's an unreliable narrator.
Totally. Also, I just, like, I can't imagine her background and her as a character immediately sleeping with her boss and, like, jumping to that kind of
Especially
reaction.
since she hasn't slept with anyone in 10 years.
No.
Since she was a teenager and went to prison.
Yeah.
So you find out later in the book that she went to prison because she accidentally killed a guy who was assaulting her friend.
Yes.
And he was like a prize athlete at the school that she went to, whatever. And she goes to prison for 10 years for his death. And where we're introduced to her at is she's currently on parole.
Right.
But yeah, she's just so unreliable as a narrator. And
yeah, or even like as a parolee, it didn't feel like she was actually on parole at all, because when you're on parole, you have to do so many check-ins. You have to be like physically available. Your parole officer has to be able to come into your house and like see things, like all of the factoids.
Especially like she's on parole in New York State.
Yeah.
Like that's not just like taken lightly.
No, or in New Jersey for that matter.
Yeah.
She does talk about, I can't just move around, like I have to have a reliable place to stay. But a parole officer would have been over there within the first, I think, 72 hours once you get into a home to be able to check if it's like a safe place for them to be.
Yeah.
Or if like the parolee is gonna be a safe person in that space. Yeah, there were just so many things where I was like, well, that would never happen. Well, that's kind of wrong. That's kind of weird. I don't know. What did you think, Kel? Because you read all of them.
Yes. I thought, I try not to, like when I'm reading other books, like I try to just like focus on it. So I'm not like trying to think ahead and like have it spoiled. But like I know that like a lot of it you can kind of guess off the bat. But by trying to like stay in the moment a little bit, I enjoyed like then getting to change perspectives in the second part, because she does that in every book, where the first part is all Millie in her experience, and then the second part shifts perspective, so then you see like
she does that in all of her books. Freida McFadden.
Not just these three.
Not just those three.
Oh, wow.
She does that. It's a theme in all of her books.
Interesting.
Where you get like 3/4 of the way through the book and then you get someone else's perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I agree, like all the things where like her sleeping with her boss, I feel like if she was, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but like I think she would have been more careful.
Yeah.
And not even put herself in that situation.
Yeah.
To say, oh yeah, let's go to the city together by ourselves. Let's go have dinner and drink a bunch, and then let's go stay at this hotel together. We'll get separate rooms. Like, no.
But then won't at all even attempt.
Well, and that made me, it just felt icky, because the whole first half of the book, I was like, okay, she really is trying to have a better life for herself and like get out of this situation and build something for herself, but then jumps right into bed with him. It just felt so random and unsafe, and thinking, you didn't just go to jail for drugs or fraud, like you killed someone. Don't you think you would be a little bit more precautious about what your actions would actually equal at the end of this?
Yeah.
Sleeping with someone who's married that you work for would be one of them. That part, I just didn't feel like it didn't line up with the character and like what she actually wanted to do. Okay, but
my Kindle is not working, but
bummer.
Well, it's restarting.
Okay.
So. But I have all these notes that pertain to that, about like I kept highlighting. I didn't take any notes in the second or third book because I was just kind of
flying
reading those very quickly. But with the first book, I actually, because I knew we were all reading that one, so it took the time to actually like take some notes and things. But most of my notes are ew, ew, fun internalized misogyny, rampant
throughout the book.
Like, and she keeps justifying her choices with like, well, he deserves better.
Yeah.
And his wife has given up.
Yeah.
And I haven't.
Internalized misogyny and massive fat phobia throughout the entire book, because she kept saying like the wife Nina has like let herself go. She's so fat, he'll never love her like that. Like I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you thinking like that? It just didn't feel like a book that would be written in 2024 from two women's perspectives. It felt like Gone Girl, when Gone Girl came out, it was very much like this, like two women pitting against each other, two different, one character kind of having a split personality, and the 3/4 of the book and switching the perspective, that's Gone Girl too. Gillian Flynn uses that all the time.
I read that too.
Yeah. Oh, I love that book. Excuse me as I
dab your green nostrils.
My nose and my eyes like to water when I wear makeup.
Yeah.
Don't know why. It's not like I'm wearing much. I feel like I'm no makeup girly, you know?
Yeah.
Because you read all three, I'm like astounded because, like we've been talking about in the last couple episodes, this is not your norm. Did you like the thriller aspect of books like these, or what made you hook to keep going?
I think a little bit, yeah. Like wondering like what mischief she was gonna get herself into, and like what the next house was gonna have, because she like gets these jobs to clean for all these people.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think. Because I didn't really because like at the end of the book, it'll tell you like the first chapter or whatever of the next book.
Okay, yeah.
And I think I had barely started the first chapter of book 2 and was like, okay, yeah, like I'll keep going. I think because they were also such fast reads, I was like,
might as well.
Yeah. Like,
which is how I felt about it too.
Yeah. And try to get a little resolution.
Yeah. I will say, I think the second book out of the 3 has the most like substance to it.
Interesting.
The third one, there is no substance.
The third one caught me off guard. I was like, wait, what? Like,
are you guys okay spoiling?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to hear like kind of what happens if you want to talk through 2 and 3.
So the second book starts shortly after the first book ends. I think it's like a few years later. She's in school to become a social worker. And you find out that she had dated Enzo. They do date for a certain amount of time. I can't remember, like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to Italy to take care of his dying mother and just kind of leaves her in the lurch of like, she doesn't know if he's coming back.
Oh, wow.
And then he finally kind of ends it over a phone call of like, I'm not coming back, basically.
Yeah.
And so she moves on and starts dating this other guy who's this like big shot attorney, family of attorneys, like this whole thing. But the whole time you're like, you don't like him.
No. And she even keeps saying it too, because he is just like constantly love bombing her and like wants to move in, wants to take the next step because they've been together for a while. And every time he like will say I love you, like she kind of recoils and is like, I have to say it back eventually because otherwise he'll move on.
Yeah.
Well, and at one point she does say it back just to keep him there.
Appease him.
Yeah.
Ew.
Because she doesn't want to have to reveal like he doesn't know about her past. He doesn't know anything about her going to prison, any of that.
What? And he's an attorney from a family of attorneys. You'd think
he'd run a background check or something.
Yeah.
Can you log into the Wi-Fi on this so that I can get my notes? Yeah. Sorry.
I think I got
your gloves.
Glove.
Oh no, it's working.
Okay.
In that second book too, she gets a job cleaning for a tech billionaire or something like that. And
is she in California?
No, in New York still.
Oh, so all 3 books are in Jersey or New York?
No, in the second book is all in New York City.
Interesting. Okay.
Because she's living in the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
In like a sketchy apartment, like what she could afford, this little studio.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And the husband is the one that hires her and is like, my wife is very sick and she's staying in this guest room. Don't disturb her ever. Like, don't go into the room. Don't talk to her. Don't interact with her.
Okay.
Just leave her alone.
Yeah.
Never sees her?
Well, she does eventually because Millie, like, hears her crying or whatever in her room.
She finds blood on a nightgown and, like, on the bathroom sink.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so then she's like, I need to see that you're okay, or else I'm calling the cops. Like, I need to see you.
Yeah.
And so then I think her name was Wendy.
Something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
Is she finally like comes out of her room and like shows Millie that she's alive, but she's like bruised and like beaten up.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And the husband is like always at work.
Yeah.
Comes home, and will come home with like jewelry and like really expensive stuff to give the wife. Yeah. Am I missing anything before I get to like the reveal-ish?
Oh, she's throughout the whole, she's super paranoid because this one car she keeps seeing it everywhere she goes. She does actually end up getting also assaulted by a guy in her building. And but she beats him like severely and ends up getting taken in. He ends up not pressing charges, but then somebody plants a bunch of drugs in that guy's apartment so that he ends up getting evicted. And then it turns out it's Enzo, and he's been following her the entire book.
Yeah.
What?
That he's back in New York, didn't tell her, and has just been protecting her by following her in this car.
Yeah. And so Wendy finally is like, I've been told about you. You need to take me. Like, I need to get out of this situation because he's beating me. He's the worst husband. And, like, he's horrible. And so Millie tries to take her out of town. And then, like, that same night, Wendy's found by Douglas, I think. We'll call him
husband.
Doug. The husband, and comes back home. So then it's like really strange.
Yeah.
Come to find out, Wendy was the one that orchestrated all of this. Doug, who Millie believes is her husband, is not actually her husband. It's a man that looks very much like him.
Who she was having an affair with.
Okay.
Wendy was having an affair with.
Okay.
And
the real Doug lives on a house on Long Island.
Yeah. And he wants kids. The real husband wants kids, wants to not have the penthouse that they have in New York City. He wants to just have the one house. He thinks it's ridiculous that they have two houses, and he's like, we don't need this much money. We need to like give it away, and like we can live a normal life with one house. And Wendy doesn't like that. She wants him dead, and so she wanted to be wealthy. Money.
Oh.
And so she stages this whole thing where Millie walks in on fake Doug, basically strangling Wendy, almost about to die. And Wendy had previously showed Millie a gun in the house. And so Millie's like, I should call the cops. I should do this, whatever. She's like, no, I'm going to shoot him. Or like, I'm going to like threaten him.
Self-defense. And there's no time.
So she goes in and she ends up shooting him. So she thinks, and he seems dead. And then she flees.
Okay.
And then
what she doesn't know was it was a blank. And then that's fake Doug.
And then Wendy and fake Doug then get real Doug to come to the penthouse.
That same night.
So they can really kill him.
Yeah. And she does.
And so Millie's pinned for it. And she does all this digging because she goes home and she sees the news of him dead. But she's like, that's not the guy I killed.
Right.
Or I think I killed.
Right.
She says, oh, that's not the man who hired me. That's not the man I've been interacting with for like a year at this point.
Interesting.
And Wendy had like built all this up so she could pin it on Millie, where she was texting or only contacting Millie on a burner phone, calling her at weird hours of the night. When Millie left, she told her to delete all the texts from his phone, from him on her phone, so that, like, she wouldn't see any interaction. She's like, I'll take the blame for this, whatever, like, clear your phone, you weren't here.
Wow.
And like making it seem like she's like taking care of Millie.
Right.
But really it was just to set her up, because then they find the cops find this burner phone, and they're like, why are you having conversations at midnight with your married boss? Why is he texting you like things that could...
Are you coming over tonight? Like...
things that people could assume mean something different.
With no context.
Yeah, and like, why did you pay for a motel 4 hours outside of town with him? Like,
Weird.
Yeah.
Why is she so dumb? Like, this is what I don't understand. I'm like,
oh, but it gets worse.
I think that's also why I was so viscerally just like angry with the book by the end of it. And I came out and James was, I don't know what he's doing. He's probably playing video games. And I was like, this is what makes me mad about myself. Someone can write something so fucking dumb and make millions and then get movie deals. And I know I'm smarter than Freida McFadden. I'm so sorry, but I think I am. And I just can't believe books like this get made and then get 2 like sequels and third books. It blows my mind.
Also, a part that is revealed in the second book is between the years that we haven't seen, when Enzo and Millie were together in New York.
After the first book.
They continued to help women out of these situations.
Okay, that was my follow-up question, because at the end of this book, another wife comes to her and was
that becomes like a thing, and she kind of gets known as this person who will help you out of
bad situations.
These situations. But not always by killing the guy, but usually by helping these women just get out.
Okay.
Right? Which, like,
cool.
Awesome. Except for Wendy finds out about her, and that's how she finds her.
And uses her to her advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
The end of that book is that the wife of fake Doug gets told everything. And basically Millie uses her to...
So not Wendy.
Not Wendy.
Fake Doug has a wife.
Fake Doug has a wife who was the assistant of real Doug.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So Enzo and Millie tell the wife of fake Doug everything. And hoping that it'll like spur her to do something about it.
Right.
And it does. She goes and fully murders fake Doug, like slits his throat in a bathtub in a cabin in the woods, and then makes Wendy write out her own suicide letter, and has already poisoned her, and she dies.
And then she runs away?
Yep. She gets away with it.
And then it just looks like a murder-suicide.
Yeah.
And like they just had guilty consciences.
Only women very rarely kill via slicing throats.
Yeah.
Because it's
too messy,
extremely personal, and it's hard to overpower a man.
Yeah. Well, he was drugged.
Okay.
They had been drinking drugged wine.
If anything, women usually kill with poisons and things that they don't have to actually touch to make it happen. So I feel like she should have just like drowned him or something like that, but whatever. That's random.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the cliffhanger to get a third book out of this?
There kind of isn't one.
There isn't much of a cliffhanger because book 3 is 10, 15.
It's like 15-ish years later. Her and Enzo are married and have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old children.
Okay.
They have a little girl and the youngest is a boy. And Enzo has like a landscaping business, and she's a social worker and like in a hospital. She like had originally started as a social worker for children. And then she's like, I can't do this. I will end up doing something bad. Yes.
This is the dumb author bit. What world in the United States of America would someone who went to prison for 10 years for murder would be allowed to not only become a social worker and get a job, but work with children as a social worker and then work with adults as a social worker? It would never happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had to say that. Research.
Yeah. So they move out to Long Island. No. Yes, Long Island.
Okay.
To this cute little neighborhood. They got this house that they could barely afford the mortgage, but they wanted to get out of the city. They wanted their kids to like grow up in a better school system and all that stuff. And
backyard.
Then with a backyard, and their son plays baseball and all this stuff. And then I don't know where it starts to get weird from there.
I feel like honestly very in the beginning, because their neighbor is like, as soon as they're moving in, is like in their face a little bit and like, you need to come over for dinner. We don't have, like, she's kind of backhand complimenting them too.
Well, she straight up asks Millie when she's due, and assumes she's pregnant to make fun of her body.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How kind.
And
neighborly.
Openly flirting heavily with Enzo in front of Millie.
Oh, older woman or the same age woman?
Maybe a little older, but doesn't have children.
Okay.
It's just her and her husband in their house.
Okay.
And she's a real estate agent.
Interesting.
And then across the they get warned that across the street is this crazy woman who lives by herself with her son, and she's like insanely overprotective, and she get blinds because she watches everybody in the neighborhood.
Very Bates Motel.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
But she is a red herring. She's fine.
Yeah, no, I was literally about to say, so there's nothing wrong with that person. And
well, I mean, she is a lot, but
what neighbor isn't? Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And then, I mean, I'll just kind of just spoil the whole book because it was so frustrating to read. Basically, she thinks that there's something wrong with the wife. It isn't. It's the husband again. It's kind of the wife because she's been covering up for him, but it turns out that he's like a predator.
Oh.
And had killed a little boy in their house, and like she covered it up. That's why they never had kids, and why she stayed was to like keep him
make sure he didn't talk
on a leash.
Oh my god.
No, she wanted to like keep him from doing it again.
Oh.
So she like stayed to yeah.
You know what's a really great way to make sure that never happens? Going to the police and telling them what happens and then arresting him, and then he stays in jail.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so weird. How does Millie help that situation?
So
or is she like hired to do something?
He starts it's not clear if he ever actually physically abuses her son, but he is showing like predator behaviors toward her children.
Oh, yeah. Gross.
Yeah.
The son broke a window in their house playing baseball, and Millie was like, we can't afford this. So she just automatically offers Nico to go do chores at their house. So she sends him over every day to do these chores. And while he's there, he finds this door underneath their stairs, and they have the same little hidden room in their house too.
Yeah.
And he opens it up, and there's all these toys, like brand new toys that he would love to play with. There's a bed in there, like weird, but he gets caught in that room, and he's like, I'm so sorry. And then the husband is like,
pushes him
in. You can play with these toys, but I want to watch you play.
Ew.
There's like a camera in the room. It's
Ew.
And
yucky.
then something, does the wife find him, and that's why
this whole time Millie thinks that something is going on between Enzo and this wife.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing going on between Enzo and this wife.
Yeah.
Enzo is trying to help their housekeeper who's being abused by her husband.
Why aren't they talking to each other?
That's the whole plot of the third book, is that nobody fucking talks to each other.
Just don't talk to your husband
No.
about important things?
No. They don't communicate
and
at all.
They had hired the maid to clean at their house for a little bit, but Millie was like feeling weird about it and didn't like it, and
caught her stealing.
So they can afford a maid?
It's a whole thing.
Okay.
So their daughter finds out kind of what is happening to Nico, the son, but he swears her to secrecy, begs her not to tell, all these things, as children do.
Yeah.
And she attempts to drown the wife at the beach.
The daughter?
Yeah. The like 11-year-old kid.
Okay.
And then she's over one day. So Enzo has given her his like knife that his dad gave him when he was a little boy. And she ends up stabbing the husband in the stomach.
The predator husband.
Husband to like get away from him because he catches her discovering the room.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Icky.
Yeah. So she's the one that ends up killing him. And then Enzo knows because it was his knife, and he... We do find out that she isn't the one who actually killed him. She only stabbed him in the stomach. Right.
The maid
came back
through the back door and slit his throat. A lot of slitting
So many throats.
But Enzo takes the blame for it.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I'm going to protect my daughter. Like, I'm going to
not let her go to prison.
Yeah. And so he takes the fall for it and gets arrested. And then they hire a lawyer.
Yeah.
And it's the daughter from book 1.
All grown up, and now she's an
that's kinda
attorney.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
Is
now
she just
she's
as
an
obnoxious?
defense attorney. No.
Okay, that's
she
good.
helps
Screw up.
them.
Yeah.
And is like grateful to help them.
Oh, that's
because
sweet.
they saved her and her mom.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like how Millie always assumes that Enzo is a terrible person.
I know.
Like, he has proven himself for 3 books now to be trustworthy, helpful, loving.
Yeah.
Why do you always assume the worst of him?
And in book 3, she's like, he's not telling me things about his childhood, about his past. Like, I don't really know him he's not the man that I thought he was. I don't know anything about him.
And she's just like monologuing this, but not actually giving any context as to why she would think that.
Basically,
Pretty much.
Yeah. So my notes from the first book, I finally got them to load.
Yeah. I want to hear.
So this is
Did you
from
have something to say? Okay.
one of the first chapters. Andrew Winchester holds his hand out for me to shake. This is her meeting him.
Yeah.
The husband from the first book. It's hard not to notice he is an incredibly handsome man, piercing brown eyes, a full head of hair the color of mahogany, and a sexy little cleft in his chin.
Immediately
it's
makes it
also
sexual.
hard to not notice that he is several levels more attractive than his wife, even with her impeccable grooming, which strikes me as a bit strange. The man is filthy rich, after all. He could have any woman he wants. I respect him for not choosing a 20-year-old supermodel to be his life partner. All my note is fun internalized misogyny. Okay, cute.
There's just so much there. Classism, sexism, fat phobia, a little bit of ageism.
Let's see. I have more notes.
I think, too, it's like, for the author, she's like, how can I make this spicy?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like she's never had any kind of spice in her life.
No.
I'm like, have you just read romance novels your entire life? Have you never experienced anything sexy?
That's another thing, too, throughout all of her books. I feel like she repeats herself an insane amount.
Yeah. So much.
The amount of time she's like, I was in prison for 10 years. This, like all these background things. I'm like, you have really hit this home multiple times. I understand.
We were laughing because with the third book, she describes how Nico, the son, is hyperactive 9,000 times.
It's because she doesn't
have anything else to say.
She doesn't know how to deepen her characters because she's only just written this like arc.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just fills in a few personality traits to make them a whole person. But that's why they all feel flat.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing actually substantial about them.
Yeah.
What other notes do you have?
They're really stupid, but really funny to me. When she Googles what the mental health medication that Nina is on.
Yeah.
I just put fun vilification of mental illness for you.
Yeah.
Smiley face.
Yeah.
And then when she's getting ready to go to the musical or the opera or whatever, I take it easy with the makeup, just a few dabs of lipstick, a tiny bit of eyeliner, and that's it. Whatever else happens tonight, I'm going to behave myself. The last thing I want is any trouble. And all I put was classic. Because that amount of makeup is in every bad fan fiction I read as a 13-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The only a little bit of lipstick and eyeliner.
Yeah.
Every book.
Love.
The comment for this is just the delusion. I like Andrew. No, I don't just like him. I'm in love with him. I think about him all the time, and it's painful to share a home with him and not be able to act on my feelings. Moreover, he deserves better than Nina, and I can make him happy. I could even give him a child like he's so... Yeah.
Yikes.
Gross.
Yikes.
One of my notes is just gross.
Gross.
When you... Because I finished first, and I texted them, and I was like, what did I say? Like, just worst book ever.
Yeah. You raised it trash. Fast, but trash.
Like, devourable trash.
Yeah.
Which is fine. This is a great beach read, right? Halsey calls me Because
I felt stupid. It was my pick.
No, don't feel stupid. But I want to know, had you read the book at all yet before you read that text
I had
message?
only read like the first chapter.
Okay. That makes your reaction make more sense because now, because your notes after the fact are like, see, she gets it. She knows this is bad.
Well, yeah, after the fact. I hadn't read it yet.
So
and
funny.
In her defense, the other 2 books of hers that I have read were so much better.
Okay, interesting.
Like, way better.
Interesting.
And I don't know why.
What other?
But her book, called, I think it's The Locked Door. Also a quick read, also a little trashy, but a fun read.
The Locked Door.
Yeah, The Locked Door, and
there's a lot.
Yeah, she's written a lot of books.
The Devil Wears Scrubs, The Devil You Know, Suicide Med, Baby City, Brain Damage, The Surrogate Mother, The Ex, The Perfect Son, The Wife Upstairs, One by One, Want to Know a Secret, The Locked Door, Do Not Disturb, Do You Remember, and The Inmate.
So the only other ones I had read were The Locked Door and Do Not Disturb.
Okay.
Both were very entertaining reads.
Yeah. Thrillers.
Thrillers and obviously just beach reads.
Yeah.
But way more substantial than this series.
Interesting.
Love waking up next to you instead of her. Gross.
Also, you've woken up next to her once.
Yeah.
You've been with this person for years. And you've done life with them for years. How do you so quickly switch? And like the quote that you had just before that like, I like him. No, I love him. Like, how? How do you just jump from like to love and you've spent literally hours together? Not any kind of substantial time. You don't know anything intimate about him other than that you had sex with him.
The last note that I have is from towards the end of the book when he's torturing her.
Yeah.
And he has her put the books on her pelvis.
Yes.
The books are heavy. And the protuberance of my scapula and my tailbone bite into the hard, uncarpeted floor. This isn't enjoyable, but it's tolerable. My note is just, be so fucking for real. Because you don't know those words. No. You went to jail at 17. You went to prison at 17.
Yes.
And spent 10 years in prison. You do not know the word protuberance of my scapula. That is not in your daily vocabulary.
What if she read the textbooks before she put them on? But I remember thinking the same thing because she kind of does that a lot. She'll like sprinkle vocabulary words in other people's sentences, and I'm like, it's like that person's not. Good job,
Freida. You used a thesaurus.
Whee! Yeah. Oh, God bless her. Hey, at least you enjoyed them.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Would not read again. Ratings?
But would you see the movie?
Oh, I will absolutely see the movie because this is the kind of book where the movie and or show will be 10,000 times better.
Yeah.
Because it will actually hopefully have a script writer, please, by the grace of God, put a little more depth behind these people. And I'm sure it will be a couple of people that I actually want to watch act on screen and I will enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love movies like this. It's very hard for me to like a book like this unless it is very smart. And
I bet the movie will be a great watch.
And Lionsgate is a pretty great production house. So
they did Twilight.
True. Wait.
It all comes back.
Yeah. Ratings.
Oh, me first?
Yeah, you first.
Yeah.
Oh. Or whatever.
3. 2.8.
2.8. 3.
I'll give it a 2.7.
I give it a good 1. You get 1 for getting
published.
published.
I think because I read all 3, I'll give it a 2.8.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because honestly, the second book, way better than the other 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. The second book kept me like in it.
Yeah.
Good. Interesting.
Because the twists were much better.
Yeah. The third book was like,
this is right.
Why am I here? I just have to get through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that one in a sitting and a half.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for recommending.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to talk about our next book.
Mm-hmm.
We were shooting around the idea of doing Ina Garten's autobiography.
Is it out yet, though? That was the only
thing.
Can we search?
Hold on, I gotta take my gloves off.
Cruella, can you deglove, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can type, I just can't feel where my fingers are, so it's like...
It's an important thing.
Some ASMR for you.
Should I take my hat off and show you what's underneath?
Oh, man.
I'm actually surprised that it stayed on so
well.
It
came out October 1st.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it would be a fun Well, one, it's
this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's Ina, and November, so like food related. That's kind of fun. And I just feel like Ina is the epitome of fall, like New England fall.
We can also just add it to the wheel.
Let's add it to the wheel.
What's left on the wheel and let the wheel choose.
The other reason was we haven't read any nonfiction yet. Maybe we should challenge
ourselves.
ourselves.
We read the one.
What?
The Kingdom one. That was nonfiction.
Transcendent Kingdom?
Yeah.
That was fiction.
Oh.
Did you think it was nonfiction this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Because remember I said I was shocked that this book wasn't real because it felt like it was pulling from real life.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, yeah. Whole time.
Oh, interesting. You're like, these poor people.
Yeah, this poor family.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Can we remove a couple?
Yeah.
The familiar.
Okay.
Oh, no, not the familiar. The Lady Macbeth.
Okay.
The familiar I would still really like to read. It looks so good. Shira's feeling better. What's her name in?
Megan.
Megan. Okay.
So in the
Bridesmaids?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I not think that? Sorry.
On the wheel, we have the familiar.
Yeah.
The Lost Bookshop, the memoir, and Then She Was Gone.
Where's Jansen's? Didn't he have a Stephen King on there?
Billy Summers.
Yeah. Do we still want to have that one on there?
I didn't know if we would want to have like spooky scary.
I would be into spooky scary now. 'Tis the season.
For November though?
Fall.
Okay.
I did technically already start reading The Lost Bookshop, but...
Are you liking it?
Yeah, it's good. I'm only on like the 3rd chapter or something.
Alrighty.
Spin that wheel. Did you get green all over your microphone?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Then She Was Gone?
I don't remember what that was.
What was that one?
Was that one of mine?
I think it was one of mine.
Oh. I don't remember it at all. Oh, I've seen that cover before.
Yeah.
It's thriller, right?
You want to read us the description?
Sure, let me put my glasses on.
Okay.
Cute. She's like, can't see.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
If we're not into it, we can read the
That's okay.
memoir. Okay. Ellie Mack was the perfect daughter. She was 15, the youngest of 3, beloved by her parents, friends, and teachers, and half of a teenage golden couple. Ellie was days away from an idyllic post-exam summer vacation with her whole life ahead of her, and then she was gone. Now her mother, Laurel Mack, is trying to put her life back together. It's been 10 years since her daughter disappeared, 7 years since her marriage ended, and only months since the last clue in Ellie's case was unearthed. So when she meets an unexpectedly charming man in a cafe, no one is more surprised than Laurel at how quickly their flirtation develops into something deeper. Before she knows it, she's meeting Floyd's daughter, his youngest, Poppy, takes Laurel's breath away. Because looking at Poppy is like looking at Ellie, and now the unanswered questions she tried so hard to put to rest begin to haunt Laurel anew. Where did Ellie go? Did she really run away from home as the police have long suspected, or was there a more sinister reason for her disappearance? Who is Floyd, really? And why does his daughter remind Laurel so viscerally of her own missing girl?
I do remember this now. Yay. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I've seen it around a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Is it being made into a show? Does it say anything on the cover?
It's a New York Times bestseller.
Is it on Kindle Unlimited?
No.
That's okay.
It's $10.99 on Kindle.
Not bad, not bad.
Oh wait, $13.99.
Oh,
Still,
I have a couple credits, so it took my
Oh.
Then She Was Gone. Movie.
It left a mark. All tight. It's kind of one of those one-size-fits-all things.
Undetermined.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Let's do it.
I'm sure it'll make for a good audiobook too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Might do an audio this time around. I haven't listened to one of our books in a while.
Same.
Yeah. Nice. Alrighty. Well, so everybody for November, be reading And Then She Was Gone.
Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell.
Nice.
Jewel.
And we'll talk about it.
For our last book club of the year.
Guys. What?
This is the end of the penultimate podcast weekend for season 2.
Mm-hmm. We only have 4 episodes after this.
Crazy.
Wild.
And then we'll be at 50 altogether. Yeah. End of season 2. So stay tuned for that. We hope you had a blast with us on our Halloween episode. I think we did fabulous.
I have so many quotes from this movie that I've just been
saving. You're going to go home
bottling.
and have some fun on TikTok?
Probably.
Love.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that for you.
Steam from my undercarriage.
I FaceTimed Mom when I had this on the first time, and I had it like over here, so she only saw this, and she was like, and then I scooted into the phone. She was like, scary. I was like, scary. And then I was FaceTiming her when she was at work. So there's passengers, because she was sitting down in one of the gating areas. There's passengers behind her, like trying to sit down. They kept like looking into the phone.
We were like, is your daughter on Broadway?
Very green person in her phone screen.
That's so funny.
Maybe I'll just FaceTime some people today and be like, hi.
There you go.
Just checking in.
Yes. We hope you had a blast with us. Happy Halloween this week. Stay safe out there. Oh, cute. Stay safe. Don't eat weird candies or unpackaged goods. All that good stuff.
Razor blades,
Yeah, and the Snickers.
Yeah.
Sister by contract, Meg. And
Not contract.
no. I just touched my mic again. Sister by blood.
Halsey.
Sister by contract.
Kelly.
Or Cruella and Megan. I'm Bailey, your host.
Elphaba.
Or Elphaba. And we hope you have a happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Defying gravity.
I
think I'm really starting to defy gravity.
Guys, I think I'm really starting to like Wicked.